I'm Zeb Lowe here at the George Bush Library in Dallas, Texas, and today I'm speaking with Aaron Clark from Firehouse Mortgage. Aaron, thank you for joining me.
Nice to meet you.
Yes, sir. So can you please, before we get started, can you kind of introduce yourself to our audience a bit?
Okay, my name's Aaron Clark, career fireman on a small mortgage business with my wife. That's pretty much it, Marine Corps veteran.
You have one of the more interesting backstories leading up to the, getting into the mortgage industry of anyone that I've heard of or met so far in the industry. So can you walk us through, or walk the audience through your journey to becoming an LO and then running your branch the way that you are?
Okay, just like every fireman has a side job, and I used to do tile, got tired of getting up and down all the time. Mm-hmm. So actually one of my firefighters owned a RE/MAX. So he persuaded me to become a real estate agent. So I was working with him as a real estate agent. And then Motto Mortgage, part of RE/MAX, mm-hmm. He was one of the first to jump on board and said, hey, I'll do it, because he liked to volunteer for stuff. So he wanted to open up a Motto Mortgage, and he asked my wife, hey, why don't you get your LO license? And I was like, are you crazy? Like, she runs your whole office. Like, what are you gonna do? If she's an LO, who's gonna run your real estate? So I went and took the test and became his LO, and we started from scratch, and it was pretty good. But wife and I took a vacation for about a week, came back, and he said he couldn't afford us anymore, even though we were commission-based. So that started Firehouse Mortgage.
Right. Let me ask you, so, and this probably speaks to my ignorance about a lot of things. Whenever I came into the industry, as I mentioned earlier, as a professor, mm-hmm. and I got pulled into that by a friend of mine at a local mortgage company, and he wanted someone. He was a great salesman, one-on-one, but he needed someone that could talk to, go to realtors luncheons or larger events, or go to first-time homebuyer seminars and teach or educate people, larger groups of people. Because if he got in front of more than 2 or 3 people, he would just kind of clam up. Which is where I came into play. And I was very naive. I didn't really know anything about the industry. And I went to school. I passed my test. It was about 3 days into actually being a licensed LO that I realized it was a sales job. There was a sales component to it. I had no idea. I just thought that the loans magically came to me for some reason. What perceptions did you have about, and maybe this was not as much of a shock, but since you were already a realtor first, but transitioning from being a firefighter into real estate and then into the mortgage industry, what perceptions changed for you that you initially had? Or did you go into it with your eyes totally open and nothing was a shock for you?
I went in kind of open. Once I got licensed as a loan officer, mm-hmm. I realized, well, hell, I've been getting screwed all this time. Mm-hmm. Bought 2 houses, and I'm like, man, what they're charging me, that's crazy.
Yeah.
So we tried to make sure, and that was kind of some of the tension with me and the RE/MAX owner, mm-hmm. is, hey, look, you can't hit a home run on every loan.
Right.
So we set parameters to have better pricing than hit the home run. So we stayed busier, but at least word spread and it basically given back to the community.
Right.
So that was the biggest eye opener, is how many people don't know how to do certain loans, mm-hmm. but we'll turn away loans, like first time, or like construction, perm, we don't do them. Like I tell them, I'm not good at it. I don't want to learn it. I don't have time to learn it. So we just concentrated on the loans we know how to do, and that's pretty much what we focused on.
Did you have at the first mortgage company where you worked at? Did you have a mentor of sorts that kind of showed you the ropes? Yeah.
Nope.
No?
It was hop in there and fight through it. Actually, I leaned on the wholesalers because, that was one thing. They'd be like, oh, you're a brand new LO. Why are we going to trust you with the loan? Mm-hmm. But it was like, look, that's fine, but these wholesalers been doing it for years and years and years. I tell them I'm like Geico Auto Insurance. I'm the middleman. Like, I'm going to find you the best deal, but I have a team behind me that does it for you all the time. So
Right.
that kind of wins them over a little bit.
Well, talk to me about Firehouse. What makes Can you explain to the audience? I know what does. What makes Firehouse such a unique branch or organization?
Pretty much, when we did Firehouse, it was myself and my wife, and then, like I said earlier, all firemen have side jobs. So I started. Most firemen in the city I'm in, they're all real estate agents. So I talked to a couple other firemen and said, hey, why don't you get your loan officer? We'll push towards these firemen that are real estate agents to get business. Mm-hmm. So for a while, all we had as firemen and a paramedic was our loan officers. So nobody was full-time, everybody was part-time. And then we just recently picked up a teacher, so it is give back to the community. So everybody's like, man, y'all are killing it at Firehouse, y'all got lots of money, but we give back to the community. We're one of the probably top 10 buyers for the local FFA, the kids raising animals.
Yeah,
so
sure.
we're a big buyer there. We just like to donate back to the community. We're not in it to get rich. We're in it to help other people. My processor was a fireman's wife. And she would process when she had time, running kids back and forth. So it was more of a community, give back, help other firemen, make ends meet. That's pretty much how Firehouse.
Was there any bit of there was like a kind of a strategic vision for growth? Like, we're going to acquire an EMS LO, we're going to acquire a teacher that's an LO, the processor.
It wasn't planned, but we go to different events and there are people, well, wait a minute, can I tap into the fire department? Because it is the sphere of influence, and veterans want to work with veterans, firemen want to work with firemen, same with police, so did we strategically plan that's who we're going to hire? Not really. Like the paramedic, her husband's a real estate agent that I trained as a fireman.
Right.
So he's like, hey, my wife's not doing anything. Let's make her, on her time off, be a loan officer.
So it was organic, but at a certain point, you kind of realized we got this thing now.
It definitely works for us.
Yeah.
We don't market really though, so that kind of hurts us. We're busy enough, but we don't have to hit a certain number every month.
Right.
So like companies, hey, this is our overhead. We have to do this. We have to do that. We're not in that position. We do it more to help the community.
So would you say that's your biggest? That's what sets you apart the most, is your either community service or what you give back to the community beyond, like I said, beyond the obvious.
I would say giving back to the community, and we set our comp so low that the real estate agents didn't have to be salesmen. They just had to get in front and show them the numbers, and then go that way. Because a lot of firemen, they're give me the ball coach guys like football.
Right.
So they can't carry on the conversation, but numbers don't lie. So that's more, hey, we're going to treat everybody the same, and it's worked out for us. Let
me ask you this. So talking to LOs across the country, there seems to be two different mindsets on who their customer is. And I don't, I have my own opinions, obviously, but it goes back and forth between some lenders and LOs and branch managers. They think that the realtor or the real estate agent is their customer. And then I know a lot of LOs that are equally successful that think that the client, the borrower, is their customer and the real estate agent is their partner. Where do you land on that divide? How do you see your relationship with realtors versus borrowers on who do you identify as your customer?
We kind of do a little bit of both, but there's realtors we're not partners with because we don't do anything special for them. Meaning we tell them straight up, hey, we're going to close your loan quick, let you know if there's any issues, but that's all we're going to do. And it's more about, we lean more towards the borrowers because they're going to tell their friends more than the real estate agent. with the history of being a real estate agent, you would see it. Agents would say, hey, first loan officer that bring me cookies, you'll get my next loan. Like, we weren't built that way. We're going to take the application, we're going to treat them like a human, and we're going to close the loan. So believe it or not, I would probably say at least 50, if not 75% of our clientele, loans we close, are minority.
Mm-hmm. Okay, that was actually going to tie into my next question, which is, well, originally it was going to be, who is your ideal borrower type? We talked about this a little bit earlier, and you said, man, I don't have an ideal part. Whoever wants to get a house, basically. But who do you find yourself serving most of the time? So beyond the minority, I mean, there's a huge,
we do a lot
veteran?
of firemen, a lot of veterans, and we do a lot of minority loans because we treat them the same. Mm-hmm. And some of them, like the Hispanic culture, look at firemen as bomberos, and they really respect them. So they kind of overlook, I don't speak Spanish, mm-hmm. but I'll work with their agent is kind of the go-between.
Right.
But it's like everything, as long as you treat somebody as a human and straight up with them, I would rather work with somebody low income that really wants to be in a house than somebody who I call silver spoon and they just think you owe them something. Mm-hmm. I don't know. I mean, they put their pants on the same way I do every day. So
do you find yourself going towards or accessing a particular product type, like if it's low income, like DPA perhaps, or first-time home buyer loans?
Believe it or not, we really don't even do DPAs because there's a few out there, but we try to steer them like, hey, if you take a DPA, you're going to take a higher interest rate.
Sure.
And especially with the current market, hey, you can get in now, but you can't refinance or you got to pay that DPA back.
Right.
So wait another few months, have the money to put down. We can get you some money to help with down payment assistance or give you a lender credit. But we kind of steer them away from the DPA. But those are the ones that really, we feel better putting them in a home because nobody else would get them in a home.
Right. How involved are you guys in credit repair?
We recommend credit repair. Like, we'll run our one if, but I tell them straight up, we are definitely not credit repair specialists.
Right.
But we will send them, recommend a couple credit repair places, or tell them, hey, if you pay off your medical debt, it'll increase your score, because we'll do a what if. Mm-hmm. So we don't say, oh, your credit's 500, we're not working with you. We're kind of spread out. We don't have 100 wholesale lenders like some mortgage brokers. We keep to a small, we try to keep it more family, mm-hmm. where if we run into a problem, they're more likely to help us than you only send us one loan here or there. We're not really gonna, they don't care one way or the other, but we kind of use the same ones. So the AE, the upper management, they kind of know us. So they're kind of more, hey, if you do this, this, and this, we can help you get them in a home.
Right. I wanted to talk to you about kind of zooming out and looking at some of the trends in the industry at large. At HousingWire, we talk all the time. I mean, so many of these conversations, they revolve around the AI buzz and the advanced technology that's coming out every day, how it's going to reshape the industry, how it's reshaping the industry now. How important is that to you today? And then how important do you feel that that's going to be for you in the next, 3 to 5 years?
I think AI wound up putting Firehouse out of business. I'm not a computer guru. Mm. I hate when you call and you get the AI to answer your questions and you can't get somebody real on the phone. Mm-hmm. But I feel Firehouse, we're built more personal relationship type company. Mm-hmm. So I think until we get absorbed by AI, we'll just keep plucking away what we're doing. But I see AI taking over. I think it'll take over the real estate agent and loan
You see it as
officer.
an inevitability,
I
just a
think
matter
so.
of time?
Yeah, because people are more, like everybody talks about the millennials and stuff, but they're starting to shop rates. Mm-hmm. So I think it's more, hey, AI is great and you can turn loans faster. Our biggest question is, how do we get them to see what our rate sheet is? Because people go on to Bankrate, they go on to Lending Tree, and those are the bigger broker shops. So, I mean, I tell everybody all the time, like, hey, AI is going to force all the mom and pop shops out. So.
Yeah, I can see the argument for that, because I just look at the way that my grandparents interacted with computers, the way that my parents interact with computers, the way I interact with computers and technology, the way that my children do, and their growing familiarity and like comfort at the things that I would not feel comfortable sharing or doing on a device versus my parents, right, which were far more conservative or concerned about what they were sharing or what advice that they were taking versus my grandparents. So I don't know what generation it is that might be. The generation's like, yeah, what you have it. It's
Correct,
all
because I look at it too, like during COVID, you'd have places, no change. So the bills, or you can only use debit card, or so it's like they're used to that. They're like, I say we're being steered in that direction. Just like how many people actually get physical check stubs anymore?
Right.
Like, hey, you have to go online, and we deal with a lot since we deal with the minority. Like, how do I even do that? They don't know. All they know is they get paid direct deposited. Nobody gets a hard check hardly anymore.
Right.
So I think their society's pushing where the hands-on, actual passing paper is going to be gone.
Sure. That, and then whenever they get to like the AI decisioning, right, as well, whenever a lot of the studies that have come out over the past year or so with people's reliance on taking actionable advice from like Grok and from ChatGPT, and this growing reliance on telling them not information, but this is how you live your life.
Correct.
Right? And so when you have my children or my children's children for sure growing up in that world where from the time that they're born and they're interacting with these things, you have this
Correct.
tech God telling them exactly what to do.
It's like we heard a thing, Rachel and I, my wife, we talked about where people are like, hey, does anybody even believe a doctor anymore?
Right.
Because what do? They go to the computer and be like, oh no, they don't know what they're talking about. It's this. So it's like people aren't trusting professionals anymore. They trust the internet. And I look at it like if you take your automotive for repair, what's the first thing they do? They hook it up to the computer and be like, oh, we don't see any errors. There's nothing wrong with it. Like, no, there's something wrong with it.
Right.
But they tell you if the computer AI can't find it, there's nothing wrong with it, and they let you go. So
I'm one
it's
of the
coming.
only people that I know that still rotates their tires and changes the oil themselves. So this is a sensitive subject for me.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, well, let me ask you. So, looking down the road for Firehouse and the AI tech stuff aside, for the next 5 or 10 years, what are your plans for growth and expansion and community involvement?
We like being small, but we're getting busy where we're either going to have to. We went real lean through after COVID because everybody knows loans slowed down. So we're starting to look at our options, maybe finding a larger company to maybe go under to take my LOs and go on. I don't know. I don't know what the answer is because I think there is going to be a boom, and if you're not ready for the refinance,
Right.
what are you going to do? You're going to get left behind. Now AI helps and keeps the track. Since we're more mom and pop and have that personal relationship with, I'd say 90% of our consumers, they'll call us and say, hey, is it a good time to refinance? And we tell them no,
Right.
because it should get better. I mean, that's a lot of trust. And
Right. You also, in anticipation of the refi boom, you're also trying to, if you're saying going underneath a larger lender, kind of anticipate also, you don't want to give up that purchase business either with the lower rates, right? So be able to operate on both levels.
Correct.
Yeah.
That mortgage, you're going to have AI. You're going to have the ability to stay in front of your borrowers. Like I said, pricing wise. It was crazy when I started real estate. It was like, hey, 80% of the time, whatever lender you tell them to use, your client's going to use them. And now they're starting to shop, be like, wait a minute, you told me to use them. Yeah, they're good, but they're half a point higher than this one over here. So it does come down to bottom line. So we're starting to branch out like, hey, do we want to grow? Which we really don't. We don't have the capacity to take on more. So that's what we're looking at. Like, okay, if we merge, who's in line with us? Who has the same care for their clients? I know everybody says, oh, we care about them. Truthfully, do they really care about their clients?
Right.
And we don't want somebody who has a lot of wholesalers because you can't build that relationship with them.
Right. Makes sense. All right, well, we're at our time. Aaron, it was a pleasure.
Oh, no, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for joining us.
All right, no problem.